I was speaking to a group of youth today, and the gospel this morning was the gospel of Christ the Good Shepherd in John chapter 10. And our Lord is saying that you enter through me, the door, and they will go in and out and find pasture. So I asked the kids, what is a pasture? And one of the kids said, a pastor is somebody who gives sermons and they lead a church. And I said, you're right, Habibi, but not that pastor, a pasture. What's the difference? Visyani, a pasture is a field of land where the sheep live with the shepherd. And especially when we're reading in the context of the Old Testament with David, who was a shepherd, it wasn't like today where we had these fences that protect an electrical fence and the sheep may brush against the fence and know to turn back. No, we had real deal shepherds, like our Lord Jesus Christ, like David, right? But the point is, when you're outside of the pasture, where are you? You're in the wilderness, where there's not flat land, or there's not pasture, where there's not food, and there's no shepherd to protect you from the lions and from the wolves and from the snakes. So you're in the wilderness, and you're walking as a sheep, and your legs are all scraped up because the thorns in the bushes are causing you to bleed. It's the same way when you're outside of the church. You're in the thorns when you're not in the church. And I was telling the youth that the church is this pasture. And we have to be in the pasture of Christ. Because, especially today, when you look at modern farms and the gates, this is the church. The church is a gate protecting us from the world. The church gives us a shepherd, gives us Abuna, gives us our honored fathers, the bishops, and they guide us, and they protect us against the world, against the heresies. And the church, like a shepherd, feeds us with the holy body and the precious blood of our Lord Jesus Christ, and takes care of us. You know, a farmer or a shepherd today has to give its sheep and its cattle medicine when it gets sick. Or you might have a dog at home. You take your dog to the vet when it's sick, right? And so we go to the church for all these things. We go to confession when we get sick and we're healed, because it's a sacrament. And a sacrament is a mystery that brings us closer to Christ. But these are the thorns. These are the thorns in our life, the sinful habits that we might think aren't affecting us. But one after a time, after a time, and after a time, we begin to see the effect. And so who are you choosing to be like, the saints or the pagans? So this is the good ground. Who are you choosing to be like? Who are we going to live our life to be like? And actually, the psalm of today tells us how we are going